Carter, the Power Bryant. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
Oh, Grand Slam heating and air. I needed to be cooled off today, Blake. Holy crap. What a day in LSU land. And thankfully, we can all breathe in, breathe out. The burners got the better of quite a few innocent LSU fans that were vulnerable. Blake, they just want the Clemson game to be here. And everybody is always going to fear the worst. But like you said a minute ago, you should be concerned about why this happened, right? So
let's explain to everybody, just in case they are not in here or they're watching this clip. Garrett Nussmeier, allegedly, there was a report that came out that he tore his ACL. He did not. It would appear that he had a minor injury or a smaller injury and that he will be fine. But the reason to what you're saying, which we cannot confirm why this happened, but what you're trying to get at right now is that the offensive line has been horrendous.
Yeah, in particular at the guard position. You know, I had this into me. It's been, quote, atrocious, and I hate that. You know, you might not think you might think differently, Blake. You're more plugged in. You actually go to the practices. I don't, but someone that would know explained it as atrocious, in particular at guard. Is that fair or unfair?
I don't think – I think early in the camp it was fair to say that this offensive line was getting beat up. But I also think that there's a big oh, my God moment when a defensive lineman gets in the backfield and tackles a running back in the backfield. There's an oh, my God moment because the last 2 years we haven't seen that. That's number one. Now you're going to have to explain a run for 12 by Garrett Nussmeier on this defense. And yesterday you're going to have to explain a 5-yard run by Caden Durham yesterday. You're going to have to then explain a 45-yard touchdown run by Caden Durham yesterday. You're also going to have to explain the 18-yard post to Kyle Parker in the slot. So I think when the defense is winning, they're winning big. They're winning at a massive rate. When the offense is winning, they're winning big and at a massive rate. So I don't think as of yesterday that you can, for me, I don't think it's fair for you to determine based off of 7 plays and then another 7 plays and a 14-play sample size that they got worked. Now, when they got worked, they got worked. Okay. And Bernard Gooden has been absolutely kicking their ass.
Which is nuts, right? But
Ryan Kelly's going to have an uncomfortable question if he keeps doing this.
Which would be what? I'm curious.
Number one, is he one of the more dominant dudes that you've ever seen in a camp? And number two, is this an all SEC caliber defensive tackle that you're watching? Because Carter, he's got 6 tackles for loss in team scrimmage periods, 1-versus-1s. Or is your guard play that ass or that bad?
And that's why, you know, when it's relating that it has been atrocious. I've heard different things, but this person I trust quite a bit. I will also agree with you, Blake, that it did seem like the offense had a better day. It is good seeing that the offense is hitting explosives. And, you know, if you actually had a mutual viewer of ours texted me, I think it's Harry Wilson. He was like, our yard per play numbers on these scrimmages have been good on the explosives. So that's obviously a good thing. But some of that, as we talked about in the past, Blake, it could just be, you know, scrimmages can fluctuate. Your numbers can definitely fluctuate from, you know, where the offense just has a good day, if you will.
But how do we know that you have a good overall team?
You don't.
Is a good overall team supposed to one team takes a shot and another one fires right back?
Yeah, and another thing, Blake, that's really excited me this week is it's been a good wide receiver week. There's some guys that see that Aaron Anderson is out, and they have raised their level of play. Nick Anderson has had his best week of practice, which is very encouraging. Yep. You know, you and I have both been skeptical because, you know, his, you know, comeback from the injury situation has been slow, but it's looked really, really, really good. In particular, this week. And once again, that's not what I've seen. It's just, what has been relayed to me. But I will also say, Blake, that I still think as a fan, it's important to point out that Aaron is still going to be a big part of this offense.
Agreed.
And not everybody's going to get fed, and your targets are going to get squeezed out, right? Only so many targets can go around. And I still think Aaron is going to demand a really high target share, as will Chris Hilton. So, it is important to get really excited about this receiver or that receiver. But Blake, at this time last year, people were raving nonstop about Shelton Sampson making moss catches over a corner who just moved a corner last year. So
not this guy.
Well, yeah. I felt the same way. I'm not saying you did. But people were expecting a Shelton Sampson breakout, and it didn't happen. He got squeezed out. So as far as the receivers are concerned, it's important to get excited about a guy like Destin Hill having a good day here. But I do think this was the first week where we learned that Nick Henderson is going to be a big part of this offense.
Well, so we assume, right?
Yeah.
So we assume. Yes, I agree. To your guard point, or to the offensive line point, I think multiple things can be true at once. Look, last year, I think people are skittish to talk about what they've really seen, because last year this offensive line dominated, and this defensive line got dominated, and they got run all over. Okay, and I think then you get into the season, and then you couldn't run the football. So there's number one. Where I think that there's a little bit of all is because at the guard position, it's twofold. Is a 6 foot, 260-pound defensive lineman coming here and obliterating you that bad? And what is Peter Woods going to do? What is Caleb Banks going to do? What are some of these other guys going to do? But I also think that there could be a situation that Carter the last time that you had a defensive line like this was 2022. I mean, when you had actual guys that could actually play and get after the quarterback and stop the run. I mean, Don McKinley has been good for what it's worth. He's done some good things. But the thing that I come back to, and why I think the defensive line is flat out just winning in some of these, I keep hearing from people that it takes an offensive line time to gel. And I agree with that on pass pro more than anything. What I don't agree with is bullshit on simple zone runs.
Bring it to me, Blake. Bring it to me.
Okay, I'll bring it to you then.
Bring it.
If you're running a simple
blast.
Okay, you got three guys in the interior that combined for almost 60 starts, and you're telling me that they don't know basic inside zone and if you're a center, hitting the one technique and then climbing to this double team to the one technique. And then you have a situation where Bernard Gooden's pushing DJ Chester back into the pocket. We saw that a lot last year. That's not scheme. That isn't gelling. That is getting whipped. Okay, that is losing the rep. So I think they've gotten better. I do think that they've gotten better. I do feel as if that even in the better parts of this, when Garrett has been getting rid of the ball and these have been completed, he's been under immense pressure.
Yes, and this is what I would also say. And look, once again, none of this is personal, okay? But this was a problem with DJ Chester last year, holding up to the point of attack. Now, here's the thing, Blake. And
Thompson too. I mean, it's all over.
Yes. And that's why, I use, once again, I would not say atrocious if someone didn't send me that, because I don't like to be that direct. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I can be, right? I cannot stress enough, Blake, how tough of a year it was for DJ Chester at center. It was so tough. It was really hard to deal with. All right. I know you and I have gone back and forth to the levels of how much it was difficult to deal with. But I have always said this: the worst position in football outside of quarterback to be not great is center, because the center snaps the football And the single most important thing to do on every offensive play, outside of not turning it over, is protecting your A gaps, right? And your center is always in some way responsible for an A gap, right? So, you move him to guard, and he is a somewhat big guy, right? So you would think with this size and top 100 recruiting ranking that he wouldn't be someone that has issues getting driven backwards. But Blake, you've played the position. Jason Kelsey was always 285, 290, 295. He never got driven backwards, right? There's more to offensive line play than
leverage.
Yes. And some of it is just the skills, right? It's the bend in your hips, the fluidity of your ankles. I mean, there's so much that goes into it, right? So Chester having, and to add some specificity, once again, Blake, you see it, but he's having some issues holding up, right? That is That is directly what happened to him last year. That was arguably his biggest issue. And the hardest thing, Blake, I think the thing that affects your team the most isn't getting beat like quickly. I would prefer my offensive lineman occasionally to get beat like with the speed move or whatever. But when you're constantly getting driven back, I
wouldn't say it's constant. Hold on now. It's not constant. It's just one thing that's pointed out. It is not constant that he's getting pushed back. I just want to
referencing last year though, where where he was. Fair. But once again, if he's better in this department, sure, I could see him being an every down guard. It's just it's tough, right? It's a lot to ask of a guy who played center all of last year to now let's see you if you're actually good at guard. And I'm worried. I'm worried if he is your starting left guard going into next year.
Okay, well then you better be just as worried at right guard because all these tackles for loss in the run game are not coming on DJ Chester.
So let me ask you this: Josh Thompson has been what for you?
Considering him being an all Big Ten selection, underwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah, underwhelming. I mean, Bernard Gooden, look, this defensive tackle room has, for what it's worth, there have just been points and times where they've just won. They flat out won.
Okay. No.
Jacoby and Guillory against Paul Mabenga gets into the backfield. DJ Chester's coming. I mean, not DJ Chester. DJ Pickett's coming in on a blitz. He cleans up the missed tackle from Jacoby and Guillory. Bernard Gooden has 6 tackles for loss in 11-on-11 run game period.
Okay. So
6. And I would say 5 of them, outside of the one yesterday when he just absolutely swim moved the shit out of Chester, 5 of them have come against 56. He is off the ball quicker than a long-tailed cat sitting next to a rocking chair. I mean, he is. So again, there comes a question, Carter. He's doing this to everybody now. He's doing it to everybody. I saw him line up at edge. He's pushing Tyree Adams back into the pocket. I mean, he's doing. There's not an offensive lineman on this team right now where 88 has not won the rep. Bottom line, it does not exist. I've been out there for 6 of the 7 days. It doesn't exist. So you're getting to a situation where I think DJ's held up better in the run game for what it's worth, but the other side has struggled. I mean, they have struggled.
So you're more concerned about right than left.
I mean, considering 5 of those tackles for loss have come against the right guard at the current moment, yes. Now, I don't like some of the stuff that's happened to Chester in pass pro, but at least he's held up majority of the time in some of these situations. Carter, every big defensive play along that defensive line in the run game is coming from 88. It's coming from, I'm telling you, it again doesn't exist. So is it speed? Is it rotation? Carter, they ran 3 defensive plays yesterday. 3. They had a whole different unit of 4 along the defensive line for all 3 plays, and they all got there. What I think is happening here too, there's no real competition on the offensive line. They've run the same 5 out there. And on this defensive line, there's not one starter. I don't care what anybody tells me. There's no way for you to determine that when I got 3 straight plays of 4 different defensive linemen and 3 different combinations. So The reason I asked Brian Kelly about the intensity was because, quite honestly, and here's a bona fide fact, I don't give a shit what any other beat reporter on this beat says. I know this for a fact. There is no more intensity going on under Brian Kelly than in any camp other than this one. They are getting after it. The reason he brought up 2022 versus 2023 and 2024 was the topic that I had on Saturday. It's because nobody's starting and everybody's battling their asses off. So you're lining up and you're going full Rocky IV montage mode. Everybody's going after one another. Head ass. I mean, they're getting after it. I will say this. I don't know if this offensive line is bad or your just defensive line's been that good. But it does not exist up front as a position I played. Most people was not there. You are not seeing what I'm seeing. I am seeing high competitiveness and dudes taking it to one another. Weston Davis, I got to be real with you. Patrick Payton tried that 45-yard run. Ask Patrick Payton what happened with Weston Davis. Smack of that ass, smack of that ass. They are getting after it. I'm telling you. So the play up front gets me excited, but then I get worried because of the offensive line too.
Yeah. How have you felt about Tyree Adams?
Don't remember outside of Gabe Relaford, who I don't think Tyree Adams has lost a rep to anybody else not named Gabe Relaford.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it's been really good.
Yeah, he's been solid. I mean, Now the run game, I'll say this. Patrick Payton's coming on, dog. They had an outside zone run, and he pushed Tyree Adams and basically broke up an outside zone and brought Tyree Adams all the way to the sidelines, just extended his arm, and he's riding the line of scrimmage the whole way there. Jack Pyburn is on an outside zone, is not going to be blocked, and he comes down and he makes a tackle for loss. So again, but then the very next play, I got Tyree Adams literally obliterating a guy, Nuss stepping up in the pocket for an 18-yard post route to Kyle Parker. So I don't know what to make of it, Carter, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I've heard different schools of thought as far as, replacing for the 5 starters. And of course, it's actually just 5 new starters, right? If Braylon Moore is more than likely going to be your center. So would you say with confidence that Braylon Moore is going to start at center?
Braylon Moore and Tyree Adams and Weston Davis are your starters right now.
Yes.
I had to guess.
And Brian Kelly gave public confidence towards Braylon Moore and private confidence.
And I'll be real with you. Braylon Moore's been your best offensive lineman.
Yeah, I had a guest on earlier, Matthew Bruni, and he said the same thing. So, and Braylon Moore is really good. I mean, he has really, really good tape, and he also has some experience prior to being a full-time center at guard as well. So, I'm really high on Braylon Moore going in to this next year. I will also say this as far as the offensive line, Blake, is I do think Nuss is a special quarterback. I also think Caden Durham is a special running back. Those two can put lipstick on a pig, right? It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be salvageable to give those guys just enough glimmer for them to go out there and make the plays that that they can go out there and make. So while it is important, we say, well, this offensive lineman's done well here or this one has struggled there, Garrett freaking Nussmeier is going to go out there and do Garrett Nussmeier things. And we know Caden Durham's going to go out there and do Caden Durham things. And I think that could be enough to get you to a playoff.
You better pray to God it is.
Yeah, look.
You better pray to – because, listen, you're still 108th in the country with arguably your most talented offensive line under Brian Kelly. Well, that's not really remotely close because it is.
No, yeah.
It's an offensive line. I mean, I'm with you there. Again, we'll see. Carter, we're week 1 into this. Let's all take a pause. You're week 1 into it. But, Carter, if you got 3 more weeks of this, I mean, what you do, and the good thing is, the thing that I would just end with this offensive line thing, just to give a look, I'm moving Carius Curran at guard. Why they have him at left tackle is beyond me. Me and you have had conversations about this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're throwing out Cohen Eccles. They're throwing out Paul Mabenga. Can we give Carius Kern a look? Will be a question for me. Let me hop to your wide receiver thing real quick.
Yeah,
nobody has benefited more from Aaron Anderson being out than Chris Hilton and Kyle Parker.
Yes,
because they have moved Chris Hilton into the slot, and they have told him to go run fades to the sidelines. There ain't a corner out there that stopped him. The only incompletion to Chris Hilton inside the slot right now on a fade route has been one time, and it was more of a corner route that Nuss, because of pressure, he underthrew. All right, let three stay healthy. There was an argument between Joe Sloan and Garrett Nussmeier. Sloan was mad that he didn't throw it that he threw it to Hilton because he wanted the play to go elsewhere. Nuss fired back. I don't give a shit. If he's lined up on a safety, I'm throwing it to 3. And he keeps throwing it to 3. The best connection right now is between 13 and 3. Kyle Parker, hello. BK during practice, last thing I'll let you go. Made Destiny Hill get out. He kicked Destiny Hill out of the practice, not out of the practice, out of the 11-on-11. He put Kyle Parker in because he didn't know the plays, meaning Destin Hill. You got to know the plays. I mean, it's the number one thing you got to know. And then was yelling at Cortez for like, hey, don't put him in then. Kyle Parker has stepped up right now and has made some plays.
It is important to point out Kyle Parker was a younger recruit too. He was one of the youngest players in his class. So
yep.
He's hitting, a year 3 for him is kind of like a year 2.5 for him. And he's entering this year 3. And, you can argue Nuss's best throw last year was that slot fade to Kyle versus UCLA. And then he got hurt. I mean, that ball caught him as much as Kyle caught the ball. That's how good of a throw it was.
Yep.
And it is important to point out, Aaron Anderson caught some slot fades last year. Obviously, the South Carolina one. They've also missed. They've not connected on as many as you would have liked to last year. There was one versus Ole Miss that Nuss missed to him. That was there, right? So some of that's not been on Aaron, but the slot fade has been, Blake, the best play for LSU under the Sloan Jim Brock regime,
or a deep drag.
Yeah, but the thing I like about a slot fade is it's an explosive play that's also a quick hitter, right? It's the most explosive vertical route that you can hit quickly. So you can have a pocket collapse and still, outside of that one underthrow you mentioned. So if it's immediate pressure, you can't really do it, but it doesn't need to be perfect.
I throw inside slot fades on College Football 26 until they're going out of style.
And I have always been a big believer in putting whoever you think is your best receiver, putting them in the slot more. And
they've done it with Chris Hilton.
Yeah, and now that Aaron's missed this week, I still think Aaron's going to be just massive for LSU this year.
Agreed.
But the Chris team is starting to become undeniable. The reports of him, taking on Pickett, taking on Delane, taking on
he wrote. I mean, he Pickett was like, "This is SEC." Carter, he beat him by 3-4 steps.
Yeah, it was a year 5 guy versus a
year 1 guy. Yep.
So
a 6-month guy.
Yeah, I did.
For 6 months.
I've grown obviously on Chris. I think everybody has up to this point, and it's always the biggest question. It's the biggest prepositional phrase. Can he stay? It's not a prepositional phrase, but can he stay healthy? Sure. Right. Everybody asks that question every single year. But guess what, Blake? I don't give a damn because there's nothing you could do to control health. Right. If he is healthy, he's going to be a 700+ yard guy this year, if not more.
Anything else standing out to you throughout camp that we need to get to and we can have discussions over? What else?
Well, here's a funny thing, Blake. Is that camp news changes every single day, right? Mm-hmm. And every year, we talk about camp, this guy wins or that guy wins or whatever. What about Clemson, right? As time has passed, and it could just be the sliver of me that's just super biased LSU fan. When you really pick apart Clemson, yes, you do worry a little bit more that this team is going to be more talented than some of these other recent Dabo teams, not only because they have all these projected first rounders and they actually did hit the portal, and they get a huge upgrade in Allen coming over from Penn State to be their DC. But damn it, Blake, as you dive deeper and you look at what Clemson did last year, it gets a little sketchy. They did play an ACC schedule. You look at some of the other better teams, we mentioned the Louisville game last week. Louisville controlled that game in all three facets. It wasn't like Tyler Shuck made his first round grade from that Clemson tape. It was not the case. He had a good run and a few good throws, but they went into their house. That Louisville team, LSU was better than that Louisville's team, right? Caden Durham's better than Jaden Blue. I mean, there are a lot of different things that you could point to with Clemson last year that makes you skeptical. In particular, Cade Klubnik. Yeah, the Texas tape was really good, but when he's played better teams, it's been kind of So, I still have Clemson picked to win this game, but as you pick and prod versus him, Blake, maybe I'm overrating him. You've talked me into not overvaluing this Clemson team a little bit.
I mean, Carter, they gave up 300 yards before kneel downs against Texas. I mean, is scheme really going to change all of that? Maybe it does. Maybe Tom Allen comes in there, their new DC, and defensively they get to their talent with Will Helt and Woodaz and Brown. But if you're asking me, Caden Durham versus Woodaz, Helt, I'm taking Caden Durham.
Yeah, me too.
They had to convert a wide receiver to running back. They were using a true freshman. I mean, they have a converted wide receiver going as their RB1.
Adam Randall.
Yeah, Adam Randall.
Now, I will say this is a little bit different than your normal converter receiver, because the biggest thing about Adam Randall was he was a physical freak. That's always been his biggest
Sounds good. Depth is a big thing at running back.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a thing, though. It's a receiver going over to running back. I don't know how big of a factor he's going to be, but that tight end came over and that basketball player came over and became one of their tight ends. I don't know how much, if he's going to be a factor at all. I doubt it. Shefflin, whatever his name is. But, as I dive deeper on this Clemson team, maybe I am overvaluing them. I have them firmly in my playoff. I do think they are very, very, very good. But, I think it's important to point that out, Blake, because, Dale Uber?
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it.
The Ube? Let's go,
we got
man.
new YouTube members. Yes, you can sub on YouTube. Every time we post content outside of live shows, you can watch it 30 minutes to an hour earlier.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you can have news, and what we're gonna do, we get enough in there. We're just gonna post members only content.
Yeah, I've never done members only.
YouTube asked me if I wanted to check it. I was like, I don't care. Go ahead.
Oh, so they sent you that too? They sent me one because they
Thank you, Dale. Thank you so much.
They do these private memberships. They sent one to all three of my channels. Why aren't you doing memberships? It says I might try it on the SEC.
They turned it on for us, or we're like, okay.
So we got it right. It is Dale Uber.
Mm-hmm. Dale Uber, just like Uber, just with an O in the front of it. There you go.
Well, before we do go, I think I saw friend of the channel.
Yes, Paris. I was going to get to that. She did say, hey, Carter and Blake, can Davis get the line to play as one? If this was always the O-line BK wanted, why not run them in the spring? Because I think he was playing portal politics.
That was it.
He didn't want to play portal politics. And it's biting him right now because Josh Thompson did come late, but not putting DJ Chester at guard, not putting Braylon Moore in there, you could have found out what you had. Don't tell me spring doesn't matter when now it's starting to matter, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'd have to go back and look at all the live chats and all that. I did say that at the time. I was like, I do think we're overthinking it. I think you should just rep what you think you have, and if whoever wants to transfer. But that's why they did it. Now, as far as the Brad Davis comment is concerned, Blake, we know what he is as a recruiter. It's top tier. It's amazing. Obviously, we'll see what Darius Gray decides to do, but whatever. The bottom line is Brad Davis is crushing with that. If he's able to get this group to play as one, as Paris points out, this would be the best coaching job of his career. But I think most of us would agree that what happened last year was unacceptable, and not all of that's on Brad. There's like I will say this: in the history of the sport of football, back in the leather helmet days, there's never been, in particular at a big school like LSU, there's never been more hype over a tight ends coach than Alex Atkins and what he potentially can do to help this rushing attack. I don't know about you. I get a lot of Alex Atkins questions.
Yeah, they're not repping anything that he did at Florida State from a run game perspective. They're not running counter. They're not. Now, was that a Mike Norvell thing? Did he want counter? What does Alex Atkins feel about this run game? And does he, as a new member of the staff, want to does he say anything in meetings? Does he not want to step on Brad Davis's toes and be like, hey, man, what are you teaching? What are you doing? Again, I mean, for what it's worth, Arkansas and Sam Pittman and Brad Davis have had some really good, talented offensive linemen, but they couldn't run the football.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope whatever it is, counter, duo, inside zone, outside zone, whatever it is, I just hope next year that they're good at one rush design, one that's your staple when it's 2nd and 2, 3rd and 1, or whatever. They know it's coming. You're able to still convert.
Get a guy that runs 4-3 at quarterback and see what happens.
I mean, that does help. But
you think?
But even when that's not the case, you should still be able to pick up those short yardage. But there you go.
Look, we'll see. I thank Paris so much for the super chat. Yeah, man. I guess we'll see. I mean, the only other thing that I'd say about positions that we haven't really touched on is safety. I find it highly ironic that a big concern coming into the fall camp was the safety position, and nobody's talking about it. I'll tell you this: AJ Halsey will light somebody's ass up.
I like a good.
Yeah,
thick, I like a thick.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I don't know why you and Hugh Freeze keep.
Dude, I need my football players to be thick, and AJ Halsey.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Dude, it's not a nasty, ironic thing. I'm just telling you, man. This is the SEC, man. My teacher, Miss Forbes, taught me that force equals mass times acceleration, Blake. And you need mass to accelerate, and AJ Halsey can do that. Remember, AJ Halsey.
Trendon Holiday didn't need much mass to accelerate at a high speed.
But I'm not saying the speed is not effective.
Science is bullshit. See,
I'm talking about the force, Blake. I'm talking about the freaking force. It's mass.
What is this, Star Wars?
No, this is not Luke, man. I am Yoda telling your ass that the size matters, your thickness matters in the SEC, and AJ Halsey is one of the few people that can exist on the planet Earth that could claim he tackled Jaden Daniels in the open field, which he did. As a true freshman, he did. So AJ Halsey, you are right, man. And not only did that, he knocked him out for the rest of the series. Mm-hmm. So I'm obviously really high on him. And I do want to give one name. I loved his high school tape. Getting a really good grade for me as far as my personal grades for all the prospects. CJ Jim Coyley is very interesting. He is very. I'm just I don't like to talk true freshmen on here unless it's someone that I'm 1,000% convicted it's going to be good, like DJ Pickett, Carius Kern. Obviously, Harlan Berry's got a lot of positive momentum. But CJ Jim Coyley, Blake, wow. That's all I got to say, man. I like, because what he did in high school kind of fits what LSU's mentality is with, Harold Perkins playing the nickel / star role, right? One of these hybrid type of safety players who, the recruiting services list him as a linebacker, if you will.
Right.
But it's kind of what LSU's trying to do at that position. So his profile, even though he's not the same level of an athlete as like a Harold Perkins, it kind of fits what they're looking for. So obviously you're there every day, but once again,
yeah, he's your second team star. Perk comes out, CJ Jim Coyley's coming in.
So there's that is signal. But even outside of that, someone else who plays on the defense is like, hey, Carter, this guy's got some juice. He's so I just want to throw that out there. I'm not like totally shocked by it, but Blake, I do think he could play. I really do. So I'm excited about the young man from You're as Smooth as Tennessee whiskey.
Oh, good Lord.
From Tennessee, baby. Let's
Can I get one more question to you?
Yeah, go on ahead, man.
Last question to you. What are you making of this Harold Perkins stuff? I mean, meaning I have an interception, I have multiple sacks, I have multiple disruptions in the run game. I think LSU fans want to buy into Harold Perkins. I think that the fear is that we've bought in the last 2 years and it hasn't gone our way. I don't know if I would say that 2023 didn't go our way for Perk completely. He still had a high level of number of sacks. He still had a lot of tackles. He still had a couple of interceptions. Carter, I think everybody right now is trying not to overreact, but Brian Kelly went into an open press conference and said, bro, I can't believe it. Harold Perkins baited Garrett Nussmeier and he threw a pick. I mean, we were all standing there, and he did. So really, the second interception that I've seen Garrett throw all camp, which is another topic of discussion. This time last year, he had thrown probably about 10.
Yeah.
In practice. So again, are you buying into this Harold Perkins? Is this really happening? Did they find a spot for him?
I am. I don't know if Clemson is like the best matchup for him here, but I do think with the way he has dominated at practice, you've seen it yourself, Blake, is something. I will say Andy Staples is really high on Perk, and he wouldn't have
They're
said
sending him off that edge like a firecracker.
I don't think he would have gone out his way and said that to me if he didn't truly believe it or heard the same thing. So I'm
there. I'm there. It's literally the definition of all over the place. I got an interception. I got multiple tackles for loss. I got him punking. I got him shedding a block on Trey'Dez Green and manhandling Bauer Sharp. I have tight ends and man-to-man coverage that can't get a lick of separation on number 7. And he's letting Bauer Sharp know about it because Bauer kind of ran that mouth a little bit in spring and was talking that shit. And Park got out there and it been locked up, won't let me out. #Akon. They haven't caught a. The only pass I've seen Bauer Sharp catch is in 7-on-7 when Harold Perkins is not on him. That is a fact. The rail route from yesterday, and every time he's caught a pass, 7 has been there. Just say, not so fast, my friend. #Lee Corso.
Oh, we're dropping a Corso and Akon back to back.
Hey, man, I am cultured.
Yeah, well,
I would be able to go to the barbecue.
Well, I don't.
No, I've already been invited. I mean, I've already been invited.
By who?
Multiple people.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, one of them that I'm just gonna let's change topics. But are you buying into Harold?
No, I'm kidding. What are you bringing? What are you bringing to the?
Everybody thinks a white dude is going to bring some potato salad, but let me tell you what an Italian's bringing: what you already making, and I'm gonna bring something you ain't making. I know how to really answer that question.
Okay.
Okay. Let me get a 4'11" Italian to cook something. You in trouble. You in full blown ass trouble. Y'all think Italians can't cook? Everybody, name one person. Name one person that's ever said I don't like Italian cooking.
Well, but there's not a single human being that doesn't like Italian food. No,
doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. But I
three things that Italians gave you: the mafia and all the good movies, insane amount of food, and the missionary position. You're all welcome. I mean, you're all welcome.
I did not know Italians invented missionary.
That's what I heard. We have a handbook of things that we invented.
But where is there a secret Italian handbook? Is there a chapter in Kama Sutra?
Who invented the telephone? It wasn't Albert Bell. He stole the invention from an Italian.
you said Albert Bell, the outfielder.
No, his real name was Al Bell.
Okay. Keep going.
Don't quiz me on my Italian knowledge.
Okay, but keep going. I'm not going to interrupt you. I did not know the Italians invented the only sex position I know how to do. I didn't know that.
Oh, see, now you just took it too far.
It's
better learn how to bark. Woo!
That's the only one you need. Yeah, you got
to mix things up, Carter. You got to mix things up.
You got to go reverse Jerry Jones, reverse cowgirl.
Now this is just getting to a place where we don't need it to go.
Well, you're the one that brought. I am
going deep detail like you did. You're getting graphic.
You were the one you were the ones that said that Italians invented a sex position named after.
I did.
That was you, right? Was it not?
Yeah, but I didn't go into great detail of how that works.
But when you get hit with the historical fact, as important as that is to someone like me, I've got to know. I've never known that. Never did.
Yeah, well, you're welcome, and you're welcome for pizza because all you sons of bitches eat pizza.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
All right. We'll go into week 2. Hopefully, Garrett's out there on Friday.
Yeah. I mean, that's all. That's put him in bubble wrap.
I literally texted a high-ranking member on LSU staff today and said, I will donate my ACLs for LSU.
I do wonder, can you transfer?
I don't know. Ask Andrews. Ask Mark Andrews. I have no clue.
Mark Andrews?
Yeah, isn't it Mark Andrews?
Mark Andrews? That's a tight end for the Ravens. It's Dr. James Andrews.
James Andrews. There you go.
Yeah,
no, I got that one messed up. James Andrews. Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you. Carter the Power Bryant out of here.